talk a little bit about you and your experiences. If you choose to, of course. If you choose not to speak to me about it, that is also fine, but I will ask you.
Yeah, I'll speak. Tell me what you want.
I want to know about your very early years, and I have read that when you were 4-year-old, you recited passage from the Bhagavad Gita, a book that you had never read.
Correct.
What is your memory of that, and why do you think that happened, and how do you explain that?
I know there are many child prodigies today. There are boys 4-year, 5-year-old, they can play violin, they can play classical Carnatic music in flute, in veena. This is a phenomenon, you know.
To read the Bhagavad Gita, to recite the Bhagavad Gita, which you've never read.
Coming to me automatically that time. I myself don't know how it came to me. But I think it's an old sanskara from the past.
What do you mean by sanskara?
Sanskara means an impression in the consciousness. See, our consciousness is very ancient. If you study physics, you know that a consciousness is older than or more powerful than the matter around you. So the consciousness gets in all these imprints in it, you know, the memory in it. So it could be one such, just like many child prodigies today in the world. I could recite Bhagavad Gita, but that's not any big deal about it. There's no big deal about it.
Where you went into a 10-day period of silence in 1982.
Correct.
After which you came out with the Sudarshan Kriya.
Correct.
You must have been in early 20s or mid 20s at that point of time.
Early 20s.
Tell me about that period that you went into the 10-day silence. What happened before that? What happened after that? From what you remember?
As a child, I was always more interested in philosophical and spiritual things. I was not very comfortable playing with my age group. I tried myself hard to play with them, you know, cricket, and the very big fancy in those days were cricket. Everybody would get together and talk about cricket, and I had no interest. I'll come and talk about a bowler as a batsman and batsman as a bowler. Trying to put myself in my nose, and I would always feel that I was out of place, you know. But I spent my time with elderly people. And one such gentleman was Sudhakar Chaturvedi, who was Mahatma Gandhi's very close associate. He taught Mahatma Gandhi Bhagavad Gita when he came back from South Africa. He's still alive, I tell you. He's 119-year-old gentleman. And sitting with him, listening to his days with Mahatma Gandhi and stories, and also my father and my mother, all this environment that created a very spiritual and intellectually intriguing, and he was an Arya Samaji, by the way. So Arya Samaj, you know, it's very intellectual and logical. That logical mindset I got from these influences. And then later when I was 20, I took 10 days of silence. I wanted to do something to society. I want to give something back to the society. And this thought was always there. You know, the whole world is part of my family. I'm going to go everywhere. So the 10 days of silence, like a poem, you know, it started teaching what I'm doing now. I didn't intellectually think and design a course, okay, I'm going to do a course like that. But it was a spontaneous outflow.
And after that, when you came out of it, did you find yourself a changed person?
You know, I wouldn't say that I have a changed person, no. But what I was teaching was changing everybody around.
Shrishi, now I'm told that another Shakti Kriya is something that you're going to come out with in 2013.
I've already started.
You've already started teaching it.
See, our body is like atomic reactor. What happens is an atom goes in a big speed within the generator, it generates enormous amount of energy. Similarly, our consciousness can generate a lot of energy in our body, the dormant energy in the body.
How do you push yourself? I asked some people around you about your daily routine. You travel 150 days a year, I'm told. Almost every second day you are traveling. The people are around you. Is it true that you sleep 2 or 3 hours a day?
About 3 hours. It's not that I have any sleeping problem. I do sometimes if I wish I can sleep longer too. I can also.
Why are you pushing yourself so much? Why don't you, and I'm sorry to sound, I'm sure that many of your followers will tell me that I'm crossing the line many times, but I would like to
No.
Why doesn't Sri Sri Ravi Shankar relax a little bit? Take it easy. Why is he pushing himself so much?
If you see a good movie, you just take up the phone and call all your friends, say this is a wonderful movie, you should go and see. Not that the producer, nor the director and someone is paying you to make that call, and you're not giving an advertisement. Why you do it? It's because you find some joy and you want to share it. The nature of joy is to share. And you don't find it's a burden doing what you're doing if you love what you're doing.
Sri Sri, how important is influence for you? You've been described as one of the most influential and powerful people in India, in Asia, and sometimes in the world. How important is influence and power to you?
To me, there is only one power that rules the entire universe. And influences don't stay too long. What I always tell people is that अभाव और प्रभाव में नहीं रहना, स्वभाव में रहना, अपने स्वभाव में टिके रहना. Not being the influence of something. Today people are influenced of alcohol more than anything else.